Okay, if we're all ready, can we stand for pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I get a roll call, please?
Ballison.
Here.
Hobbit.
Here.
Gerald.
Here.
Kennedy. Here. Midgley. Here. Perkins.
Here.
Shagus.
Here.
Basco.
Here.
Campbell.
Here. All right, we have comments from the audience. If anybody has a comment to make, we would ask that you come to the podium and state your name and address for the record.
I didn't have line
Is
items.
this non-agenda items or?
You're welcome to speak now.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Usually we say non-agenda for the end, but I know you were here early, so go on ahead.
Sure, absolutely. Well, I'd like to present myself before I actually am a former Hampton alumni. I graduated in 2012. My name's Leonard Verdetto, so this brings back good memories, so this is pretty much an honor to be here. But right now I'm living in West Deer, and I'm here as a community member and also here with a couple of friends. And I'd like to introduce, basically, is the server project. So let me just pull up what I need to say, so give me a minute. So about the server project, and I wanted to address this to the board because I think this is very important, especially with all the human traffic that's going on and things that we've been hearing on the news, and I think this will be definitely an asset and a good thing for our students and also future generations to come. So I would like to say the server project is a Pennsylvania-based nonprofit organization headquartered in Moon Township. Their mission is to combat human trafficking, child exploitation, and online sexual predators while supporting victims and assisting law enforcement. What makes the Servo unique is that they do more than just provide awareness presentations. They educate students, educate parents, schools, churches, and communities about online grooming, trafficking tactics, social media dangers, and any prevention that we can. They also assist law enforcement through intelligence gathering and cyber investigations to help identify and report suspected predators. According to their public records or on their site, Servo has educated thousands of students and adults through awareness and has worked alongside law enforcement's efforts involving human trafficking and child exploitation. Their mission is focused on prevention, educating victim support, and helping communities recognize dangers and before young people become victims. If any board members would like additional information, I would be happy to provide through email. You may also contact the Server Project directly to learn more about their program. Their CEO is Joseph Sweeney, and the organization can be reached at info@theservoproject.org, and the additional information is on their website, which is www.theservoproject.org. Thank you for your time and consideration. Thanks.
Thank you. Can I ask, did you sign in over there?
I need to sign in.
If you sign and put your email on there, then if anyone wanted to email you, they'd be able to.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. We'll move on to the approval of minutes. Can I get a motion for that?
So moved.
Second. Any discussion on the May 4th, 11th, and 18th minutes? No? All those in favor of approval of minutes signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes 9-0. Treasurer's report. Bob?
Yeah, I'll try to do it. I get a very bad echo here, so let me know if it's not coming out well.
If you sound fine.
Not on this end.
Sorry about that.
It's recommended that I move the board approves the following. May 2026 General Fund 10 disbursements totaling $4,999,742.88. May 2026 Capital Fund 39 disbursements totaling $37,969.29. And May 2026 Cafeteria Fund 50 disbursements totaling $18,636.06.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor of payment of the May bills 2026, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion passes 9-0.
Next is recommended I move the board approve the April 2026 Treasurers Report.
Second. Any discussion or questions on the April 2026 Treasurer's Report? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes 9-0.
And finally, it's recommended I move the board approves the April 2026 Student Activities Fund Report.
Second. Any discussion on the April 2026 Student Activities Fund Report? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes 9-0.
And that concludes my report.
Thanks, Bob. Next, we have our executive reports. For the President's report, I have that we've had one executive session to discuss legal, personnel, and safety matters. And that concludes my report. Board Secretary?
I just wanted to ask if anybody was interested in doing the 2026 Delegate Assembly in November. I don't think anybody's interested, but I'm throwing it out one more time because I need to submit our people.
I was unable to. What was the weekend on that?
November 7th.
Yeah, I got to that.
At Mechanics Park, right? I think it's
Yeah,
the high school.
Cumberland, yeah. Well, if you're interested secretly, you can tell me by the end of tonight.
We couldn't get a take or pay either, so.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, but
It's like watching. the
like I said,
concert.
if you're secretly interested, let me know.
Is that all?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Solicitor's report? Thank you. And Superintendent's report?
I really just want to compliment our student speakers at graduation. They spoke about our portrait of a Talbot and used that to highlight our students and their success in the arts, music, athletics, and academics. It was just, I'm always so impressed by our student teacher speakers, but this year I thought that was really quite poignant. And our, by the way, our boys lacrosse team, got to the state championship playoffs. And did reasonably well against a team that was like 22-2. Last time we played them, we lost by about 16 goals. This time we lost by 3. I think it was 9-6. So kudos to the boys and to Coach DeMache, all of our spring sports team, but that was quite an accomplishment against some that were challenging Eastern competition. So that's it.
Thank you. Okay, next is facilities. Joy?
We're having another strategics proposal presentation with Mr. Vedder.
And did we send the questions that we have to
Yes.
him?
Yeah, I sent them.
Okay, thank you. So he's going to answer some of those.
Maybe we can put them on, yeah. And I'm sure we could answer others that might come to mind.
Okay.
But good evening, John. Thanks for helping us this evening. I know you're traveling, so we appreciate you zooming in. Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, your audio is a little choppy. I may just not share my screen. Maybe that'll help. Hold on a second.
Yeah,
Not share my screen, but my camera. Maybe that'll help. I'm not sure.
Yep, that's fine. We can hear you. We know you're there. So if you want to respond to some of the questions that came up last week that we shared with you, and there may be some others that arise, but if you want to read the questions and then give us your kind of response.
Did you catch that, John?
I'm worried he's gone.
He might be having trouble on the hotel Wi-Fi. He's there.
Are you muted?
Yeah, are there questions? I'm not sure if you guys said there's a question.
He was saying that if you wanted to read the questions that we sent you, if you could read them and
yeah, sure,
then
absolutely.
answer them. Yeah.
Sure, that'd be great. Let me just, here, 1 second. So the questions that were sent over, and you guys can hear me okay?
Yep.
Yes, yeah.
Good.
Great. So
The first question was the costs for the initial year and the next year as well. That would be, the first year cost would include your one-time setup costs and whatnot, and your first year of your, let's call it your access to the system, which totals $79,500. That's broken into two pieces. So essentially you have your $37,500, which is, your access to the buildings and the software, hardware as a service, and then your $42,000 is your end-to-end setup for all the buildings with, everything from implementation, integration, the police integrations, the intercom setup, all those pieces. That's included in the first year, and then again, year over year, as you go through the process, it's $37,500 year after year after that. So that was the first question. And then the second question was, how does was there a question on the cost piece?
Yeah, some of it, yeah, and you answered that, thank you. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I think we're good. She said we're good, yeah.
You're good, okay. Then there was a question about how does the wearable panic button work, that type of thing. So essentially, to give you a quick overview, the wearable is worn by every staff member in all of the buildings. So essentially, there's two types of alerts. The badge is set up really to keep it really simple for the staff. The 3-click, or we always say through trainings, I need help, essentially is your day-to-day emergencies. It could be medical, elopement, it could be student-on-student altercation, it could be an angry parent at the front desk, whatever it might be. That's your low-level alert, and responders then would respond to that situation with the maps and again, essentially the exact location to where that incident is happening. Through the 8-click, if there's an intruder or somebody witnesses a weapon or there is an active shooter on campus, which of course we don't want to have that happen, right? That teacher or teachers would effectively click their button 8 times. Now, we don't when we don't train the staff to count. We just want them to essentially keep clicking. So what will happen is once a teacher continues to click, they will see the strobes, which are installed in every classroom, hallways, bathrooms, offices. It's literally all over the campus wirelessly. They'll see those go off. They'll see the screen takeover happen. So you'll see the screen takeover saying it's a lockdown as far as what's happening there. The intercom messaging will happen. And through that, all of that happening in literally within seconds, we then take that information as far as the alert and sends that to local police. So the local police at that point would then get that information. Now, in a lot of different cases, we can send that to dispatch, we can send that to the officers' devices, we can send that to the officers' vehicles. It's a myriad of different ways that happens, and it's a very, very quick response. So literally, within seconds, the alert is sent out. And again, this is really the most important component on the lockdown side of things. It alerts everyone in the building. So again, if we take another step back, Alyssa's Law really was born from a student losing their life back in 2018 down in Parkland, Florida. And essentially, the rest of the building had no idea what was happening. So this allows districts, as you guys go through practicing each year, 3 times a year, your protocols, this allows everyone in the building to stay as safe as possible until the good guys arrive. So that's essentially how what we'll call it the panic alarm on the 8-click works. Then there was a question, will all the teachers and staff be manned with the badges? Yes, we provide a 10% over. So if a district has 500 employees, we'll provide 550 badges for everyone in the building with regard to substitutes, paras, staff, maintenance workers. Everyone would get a badge. What trainings do they receive? So we will essentially provide training when we do the setup. So again, right, once we come out there and do the setup, as far as the hardware is concerned, we then come back several weeks later to train not only the staff on the badge, which is very, very simple, but also the responders in each of the buildings. So typically, your responders will be designated by the building, the leadership, who that may be. Typically, we want that to be 5, 6, 7, 10. You can have as many responders as you like. But essentially, we do that, and again, we train the teachers to, they're gonna each have their own badge, so it's a very simple training if that helps you. Can the fobs be disabled? Yes, they can. So each building will have an administrator. It's very, very simple. If I was a teacher in Hampton Township and I won lottery and I came in to resign from my position because I won lottery, I give you my keys, all the different components, computer, I give you my let's call it my badge, and you can literally disable it within seconds and then reassign that to the teacher potentially who would be backfilling my position. So you can be disabled, and again, even if I was to forget my badge at home when I came into the office and went off guard on my dresser, you could assign me one for the day, and then of course, you can then disable that, and then I should bring my badge that's been assigned to me back in school the next day. Or if you lose a badge, literally disable it. So no, if someone finds it, it'll be useless with regard to that technology because, it's already been disabled. Are the fobs, or I should say the badges, password protected? No. Once you get the badge and it's assigned to John Vetter, Rebecca Cunningham, wherever it might be, it is yours. That's how it works. That's how we know when responders are responding to an incident in the buildings or inside the campuses. They know who has pressed the button, and they know exactly where that incident is happening. What was the first responder response time to the shooting in Georgia where Strategics was in place? So in Appalachia High School in Barrow County, Georgia, back on September 4th, 2024, the response time was very, very quick. Now, the reason it was very fast, and we've talked about this with leadership as well, is because the local police wanted to be a responder for the 8-click, not for the 3-click, but for the 8-click. So essentially, they wanted to be responders. So when the 8-click was happening in Appalachian High School, they got the alert within 2 seconds. So wherever they were with regard to patrolling the area around in that town, they were able to make their way to the high school in literally under a minute, and actually had the shooter in custody in under 1 minute. So again, the mapping is critical. The timetable of getting help is what the badge is doing. We're squeezing time as fast as possible. No need to use a phone, right? If you can use a phone, that's great too, but the initial alert is such a quick response with the badge. It is very, very critical, and that's how we did that in place in Appalachia High School. How do you differentiate between the let's call it the active shooter or the lockdown and the 3-click or the medical or elopement or let's say fist fight in the hallway is 3 clicks or 8 clicks. So the technology is already part of the software. So a 3-click is a staff alert, it's low level, we're not calling the police, we're not setting off strobes, an intercom, and screen takeover. It is essentially, John Vetter is in room 210, and I have 2 honorary students that are maybe jawing at each other, whatever it might be. I can press my badge discreetly. It will ultimately vibrate in my hand, 3 clicks. The responders will get that and essentially know in let's say 212, Mr. Vetter is in need of resources. So ultimately they make their way within seconds and they're at the door to help and provide any kind of, resource to that situation, right? So it's essentially a way for me as a teacher to get a quick response instead of maybe going over to my cell phone if I don't have cell signal or going to the wall phone. I always tell this really quick story. So California Area School District in Pennsylvania last year, I was talking to the board as I am today with you guys, and one of the biggest drivers for them was they had an incident in the high school. Two boys got into a fist fight. Which again happens, right? Even when I was in school way back when, fights happen, right? But essentially that teacher wanted to go over to the wall phone to call for help, and 2 other students that were not involved in the fight, but were involved in the situation, then physically grabbed the teacher and prevented him from calling down to get help so they can, I guess, maybe witness the fight or have the fight continue, whatever it might be. So that would kind of push them over the edge to make the decision to go forward with crisis alert, but essentially, again, right, the discretion, the ability to get resources to a classroom or situation quickly is really what we're doing here, right? And again, it doesn't have to be just inside of the building. It could be outside the building, it could be parking lot, playground, common area, tennis court, playground, whatever it might be. The beacons and the strobes that we put on the campuses are all wireless. They're multi-year battery. We monitor all of that. So there's no need for the tech side of a district to be like, oh, we have to run, a drop to every single one of these strobes. It is literally, we install high schools, which are the biggest buildings in districts, literally within a couple hours, probably 4 or 5 hours, where we're in and out of campuses very, very quickly. So it's a very, very unique way that we get this system kind of launched off, within the school buildings and whatnot. That was the last question I had here. Anything else from the group? And did you guys hear all that? Was that audible?
We did.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, I had another question, I just came up with the battery. Then your system can know what the battery charge is, so when one might need replaced?
Was the question, does our solution or the feedback on the solution know what the battery life is on the badge? Was that one of your questions? Was that the
Correct,
question?
yeah.
Yeah, like you can see the level, like the low battery last, and you would replace it proactively.
Yeah, so we monitor that. You don't even have to worry about that. So we monitor that. You wouldn't have to know. You can monitor the badge life, but we literally in our command center 24/7, we're looking at badges, strobes, beacons, and of course the connectivity on the gateways, which we install 2 gateways on each building to create what we call a LoRaWAN network, which is no need for Wi-Fi or cellular. So yes, we monitor all of that for you. And again, right, on the back end of this with districts that we're coming into the summer season, right, we're notifying districts as we speak on the service side, letting them know that we need to replace strobes and beacons and or batteries for your badges, and that is at zero cost to the district. So part of the hardware and software as a service is us to replace those strobes and those beacons for us coming out there again to do that for districts, and of course send batteries with regard to the badges themselves at no cost to the district as well.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question. Last week I had asked if the technology, like if it could be hacked, and I think you were going to check on that.
My apologies, it's tough, you guys far away from the phone.
I have a small microphone here, so it's hard with the whole board, but she was asking if there's incidents or ways to hack the technology. Do you mean the badge or the system as a whole? Or?
The system.
Like, so any type of vulnerabilities, hacking kind of stuff that you might be aware of, yeah? Like, how do you protect from that? Or prevent that?
Can you say that, because it breaks up with the microphone. What was the question?
How do you what protections do you have in place against hacking of the system?
That's asked, we've never been hacked. Are you saying that for the badge or the system to get hacked? It's an undiscoverable system on the campuses. So even though it's low Bluetooth energy on the badges, it's not discoverable. So it isn't like I can open my phone and search out a Wi-Fi network or Bluetooth to find, let's say, that network. It is an undiscoverable network, and the LoRaWAN is essentially connected into the data closet, and it's whitelisted to that for that specifically. So we've really had no issues with regard to hacking into the system with regard to our technology.
Any other questions from board members? No? All right, thank you. We appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, you can't hear me.
Just make sure he hears the thanks.
Yeah, they said thanks, so we're going to disconnect now.
And there's no more questions?
No more questions. We're good. Thank you.
Great. Well, listen, thank you so much, Hampton Township. I appreciate allowing me to join today, and we'll talk to you guys very shortly. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Take care.
Okay. Well, thank you. Joy, that you have one more item?
Yes, so it is recommended and I move that the board approves the Centegix proposal for a wearable emergency alert system pending final review and approval by the district solicitor.
Second. Any further discussion on this proposal?
I'll just highlight the one thing that I want to make very clear. Our police department has agreed to allow the system to notify the laptops in the vehicles. So this, what was described occurring in Georgia, going right to the police, is what would be the setup here. I just wanted everyone to know that.
Which is huge.
In addition to Carl getting it.
Correct. Correct.
For the 8-button.
Correct.
Okay.
Not the 3-button.
Yeah.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes 9-0. That's all, Joy?
Yes.
Thank you. Student affairs, Matt?
Okay, I'm going to move items 6.01 through 6.03. This would be the approval of the middle school and high school student handbooks for 26-27, approval of the FBLA leader field trip to San Francisco next April, and approval of the high school band field trip to the, whatever the heck that's called, the marching band field trip to the Township of America Mid-Atlantic Regional Competition at University of Delaware. Go Hens in October.
Second.
Any discussion on 601, 602, or 603? All those were discussed last week. I'm assuming there were no changes to that. Any other discussion on those? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes 9-0.
That is it for student affairs.
Thank you, Matt. Educational programs, Maureen?
Just one item, it is recommended, and I move that the board approves the 2026-2027 textbook adoption.
Second.
I will give my little speech. I did take out, I guess thought it was personal management AP, but it's business AP book, that one of the 2 books there, and I talked to Jackie about it too. But it's a business course with very little personal finance.
Oh, you thought it was personal finance book?
Yeah, I thought, but it is for 9th and 10th grade.
It is. It's designed, yeah, it's an AP course designed to be like an intro runway business course so that hopefully students can choose another business course. And we've also talked a little bit with our personal finance teacher who there's extra time at the end of the year who's going to actually embed additional personal finance concepts into it as well.
It's very basic, like it mentions general partnerships, but not limited partnerships or limited liability partnerships, or, just.
Limited liability, limited partnership?
No, publicly traded liability partnerships. They have a different tax.
It's just in high school, man.
Well, I know, but it's AP course too, that's why I thought.
For freshmen.
And like when it goes into personal finance, it talks about like FDIC, insurance. It doesn't mention like for that savings and loans are under a different group, but the same amount. But then under like savings, it doesn't mention anything with treasury bills, notes, or bills. It's just like money market CDs. It's just real basic. It doesn't talk really about, it talks about equities, maybe in a paragraph or 2. It's very, very basic.
How much did you read, Larry?
I read almost, skimmed the whole book. Well, like the first chapter is business form, the second chapter is marketing. I mean, it does, the value added of a product and a company and how they add value and that stuff. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm saying, where's the personal finance? I read 2 chapters, there's personal finance there.
But that's a different textbook.
Yes, it is. And also, we're adding additional personal finance that won't be in that textbook into the course as well. Taught by our personal finance teacher, so we have a wealth of resources to pull from that.
So I asked Jackie what was the competition, and there was none, right?
No, it's brand new. There's sort of very limited textbooks because this is the first time this AP course will run, so.
There's a market. Just write the book.
There is. Write the book.
At least be an
There's the
edit.
first lesson. There's your vocabulary.
I couldn't. But anyhow, I just wanted to say I did check it out and looked at it pretty thoroughly. So anyhow,
Okay, all
my 2
those,
cents.
and if there's any other discussion on the textbook? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes 9-0.
And that is it for educational programs.
Finance, Larry?
Yeah, I'm passing this out, to everybody. I'll talk about this when I get to the budget. I got But anyhow, I'll give that time to get across. But I'll move action items 8.1, 8.2, 8.3, 8.4, 8.5 together.
Second.
Any discussion? You said 8.1, 2, 3,
4 and 5.
4, and 5. Any discussion on those? Assuming no changes from last week on any of that, right?
No, yes.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes 9-0.
And then I'll read the next action item there that I do not recommend, but I will move that the board approves the 26-27 final budget with revenues of $68,872,292, expenditures of $68,872,292. Under the proposal, the real estate tax rate will increase from 23.92 mils to 24.75 mils. This is an increase of 0.83 mils or 3.47%.
Second.
Okay.
Any discussion on that?
Yes. So did everybody get this already? Yeah. Okay, what I did just to show us our fund balance, to go back to that to see what our perspective with other school districts are. I just went to the websites, the Fox Chapel, Deer Lake, Shaler, and NA, pulled their audit reports and show the revenue as of 6/30/25 year end and the fund balances they have, the general fund balance they have. Like NA has a total fund balance of 45 million, but the general fund's only 29,892,794. So this doesn't include the total fund balances, just the general balances. And then, of course, we just took a percentage of what the percentage of the fund balance is to the revenue. And as you see, Hampton is 7.56, Fox Chapel has 28.02. Deer Lakes, now Deer Lakes didn't have the 25 audit on the website, only 24. So I used the 24 numbers, but their 24 numbers were 12.21. Shaler was 11.14, and North Allegheny is 14.85%. So you see that we are the lowest of all these districts. I didn't go any further because I thought this was a good sampling of some good districts bigger than us and some Shaler, and which is a little bigger than us too, and Deer Lakes, which is smaller than us. But anyhow.
Aren't school districts limited to 8%?
They're limited to 8% of general fund balance unrestricted. You can restrict different reserves. Like NA has probably over $10 million restricted for Peasers. I think it's $6 million for Peasers. I have it here. But there's different, they're reserved, and that don't count as for that. Like they have assigned 13,558,129 assigned. And committed, well, committed is in there too. But it's only the unassigned, right? Fund balance?
Correct. The 8% rule, Bob, it applies to the unassigned. So if you remember when we had our assigned fund balance for Peasers, a large number, that would be lumped together. For instance, how North Allegheny has it right now. So what Larry put together in the spreadsheet is the total general fund balance, which includes the unassigned, the assigned, and then anything that's
committed and non-spendable. Non-spendable basically is prepaid money.
Larry or Jeff, can either of you tell me how much we're projecting? So if it's 4.960 as of the end of this month. Where are we projecting it to be in 1 year?
Well, Jeff did a 5-year projection, which I Jill saw it, but nobody else yet. We were just kind of there. But basically, I asked them to take it out for 5-year projection. And basically what results is our fund balance next year projected is stays around 7.62, 7.41, 7.53, 7.61, 7.65. So each year, basically, he's projecting a slight overage, but that overage is enough to keep the fund balance in the same percentage with basically no material growth. And that's, if you look under my notes, the 5-year projected prepared by Jeff. And I think Tammy had some input.
Yeah, I would encourage the Finance Committee to meet and look at that 5-year projection. It's based on certain assumptions that I think everybody should understand and know before you make any decisions, particularly, and include Dr. Hadley in that as well.
And I think that was, you know, the plan when we had talked about it is that there's a lot of information that we actually don't have, that this is information that you have and you kind of guess, but that, like when we talked, we said that we might, with our new superintendent, study these numbers a little bit more, maybe do a demographic study to see, you know, what students we think that are coming, see what our staffing actually looks like per building, to do a more comprehensive look at that before we assume that these numbers are how they're going to be. It is a projection. I
Well, it's a
understand.
projection. They're never going to be accurate.
So before we actively, I think,
But it was a good faith effort.
yes.
The projection also, and Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong, again, they had the only capital improvements basically is the grass field for the girls softball and the roof for the middle school, right? We can cover those.
Correct.
Yeah, I think this is very premature.
I can talk, I'm sorry. I have the
need
right
to say
to talk,
that. I think this is
and I'm going to
premature.
talk, okay?
I know you will,
Appreciate
Mr.
it.
Vasco, but I think this is premature based on,
Well, the problem.
the rest of the board hasn't seen this report, and
Okay.
it's based on assumptions. And I think at this time, I have to say that, and I know you have the right to talk, Mr. Vasco.
Well,
but
it's just been said once, okay?
I-
And I agree, it's
put it out
assumptions.
there.
I'll chime in and say, I appreciate you sharing with Larry. I think this is interesting information, and it's important for us to all understand that if we're going to do significant capital improvements, we're going to have to find a way to fund it. There's a lot more.
Correct.
There's a lot more analysis to do there, but the concept is a true one.
And that, but the problem becomes is, like I says, there's no addition of improvements to the high school that, you know, that's in this projection. There's no turf replacement that we know is coming in 3, 4, or 5 years. There's the field house we said was in disrepair and needs replacement. There's no funds for that. There's no funds for, like, if the girls' grass field there, no dugouts, right? No lighting, no scoreboard. Is there? I don't know if there's money for bleachers.
I think part of it was that some of these projects were built into phase 2 of the renovation, which we did not feel we could afford at the time when we were looking at that, and so we decided not to do that. So you're right, the funds aren't reserved there, but we only, in January or February, kind of pulled the plug on right now doing phase 2 of the high school. So in this in-between ground, you're right, we don't have it right now, but the need to get together and decide what the next phase looks like, what we can afford to borrow to do some of these projects. I don't think it's safe. I mean, I don't think we would be able to do some of these major projects ever without borrowing some money to do them.
Right.
That's how we've always done renovations and done bigger projects. We borrowed money for those things. But you're right, we don't have a plan at this moment because we just said we weren't going to do the renovation as we had planned, and now we need a plan to fund some of these projects. So I think that we are on the same page that we need a plan to do that.
But again, the question is realizing that our fund balance is like the lowest of all the 4 other districts we looked at by a great percentage, like Clear Lake's 2/3 our size of revenue and has, a fund balance about, 12%, ours is 7.5%.
That is only 4 other districts. How many are in Allegheny County? Right, I mean, we are lower.
But it shows you, and our bond funding rating has decreased. I mean, we don't have the capabilities like we used to. And just like for the high school phase 3, it took 3 years of putting away, 4 years of tax increases to the max
Phase 1.
for phase 1 to pay for it.
No,
It was 3 years. 3 years, because there was 10 a year plus a final $3 million bond. But my point is we're not in good financial shape. Our fund balance isn't where it should be compared to other districts. Our bond rating already increased. Preliminary projections and has no capital improvements. So if you fund the debt, and these projections are anywhere close, we're going to have to cut something in the future
I think that
to pay for
I
it.
think all of that is part of the conversation, to say we are not in good shape financially. I don't know that that is true, to say we are not in good shape financially. It might not be what you would like it to be financially,
Well,
but I don't know that we are,
our bond rating would have got cut if they thought we had.
our bond rating, is that what you
Yeah.
said? But it's not as if we can't take out a bond. We don't have the
No,
tippy
you
top.
can't.
Yeah,
But you pay more.
right.
What I'm saying is, you can't look to say, we're gonna borrow money to fund this without having the ability to pay on the debt.
Right.
And it's gonna cost us interest,
Right.
which is gonna be,
Which is why we didn't borrow in January and left a lot of these capital projects unpaid for.
Right.
Because we thought we couldn't borrow that amount at
and we
that
couldn't
time.
borrow it right now, the debt service in this current budget for next year, we really, I mean, if we do, what's our service? I mean, we
Debt
really don't
service-
have,
Our debt service in the budget that's up for consideration tonight is our existing
yeah.
debt. It's a little over $5 million.
But we don't have a lot of extra money in this budget to take on another $100,000 of debt service, or $200,000.
We would have to move things around and reprioritize.
Yeah.
So that is the conversation that needs
Right.
to be had. If we are
So,
borrowing,
yeah.
how are we reprioritizing?
And let me finish
what-
my comment.
Yes,
And
sorry.
I'll shut up and you'll vote
Sorry.
and I'll lose, okay? Is that
You
okay?
finish your comment.
My comment is, of course, the sooner you realize that we're going to have to take some cuts and that you have all these retirements that happen, we're replacing everybody, plus we're hiring a full-time elementary coach that was paid for with a grant that no longer exists. Now taxpayers are taking that.
No, there's no new positions in the budget, Mr. Vasco.
I know, but there's more money, we lost funding for
I
that
just want to be
position.
accurate on that. There are no new
I
positions.
said taxpayer money is replacing that grant position. So, I mean, that's just one thing, and maybe that's important. But, I also see chorus, in a high school with 6 kids in it, We still have Chinese on it. I think we need to start realizing we're gonna have to start cutting. And I know other school districts, like I said, Shaler dropped their swim team because of budget constraints. But the longer you delay, the more pay.
I think that we are trying to carefully do that. We did not replace an administrator last year at the high school. And I think 3 teachers at the high school that retired were not replaced. So I think it might not be at the rate that you want that to happen, but I think as things come, we are thinking about that. I think that could also be part of the projection too, if we see some of that.
But I'm just saying, I mean, and like I said, when that fuel comes, I mean, it costs $500,000, I don't know, 600,000. What, are we gonna do something with the field house? You know, now it might be $1 million. And then you're gonna have to fund that over probably a 10-year period or so. Right?
In
You
the
can't
interest of keeping an active discussion there, I want to thank you. I appreciate what you're saying. I do largely agree with your principle, but I'm also confident that the board and the administration can come up with a plan to fund these. We'll have to work hard and it will probably take creative solutions.
Well, as I see, no restraint from this board to spend money and to not save for capital projects that we're going to need in the future. And that's my point. So anyhow, that's it.
Would anyone else like to weigh in?
Not today.
I think I've made my points.
Okay. So, let me see, all those in favor of the 2026-27 final budget signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Nay.
Motion passes 8-1.
Okay, moving on. I'll move item 807, the approval of the 26-27 homestead, farmstead resolution.
Someone want to second that? Any discussion on that?
Again, really, this is just the money that the state gives us from the gambling funds, part of the gambling funds. We don't, schools don't get it all, but it's divided by the number of homestead, farmstead exemptions, and they get a credit on their real estate tax bills.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes 9-0.
And I'll push item 9 back to the chair, since it's nominations of treasurer.
Can I get a nomination for the position of treasurer to the board?
I'll nominate Mr. Shagus.
Second.
That's item 8, just for the record.
What?
That's 808.
Oh, 808.
Yep.
Any discussion on Bob for treasurer?
I'll move to close nomination.
Thank you. Any discussion now? Nope. All those in favor of Bob serving as our treasurer signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed? Motion passes 9-0. Congratulations, Bob.
This means you have to come back, Bob.
We work in dollars, not euros.
Right. All right, is that all?
That's it for finance.
Okay, personnel, Denise.
I'm moving items 9-1 to 9-9, noting the revision in 9-8.
Second.
Any discussion on those items? I'm just real check with it. Oh yeah, there's 2 revisions on there. No discussion? Sorry. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes 9-0.
Okay, items 9, 10, and 9, 11 are addenda. One is a resignation of para, and the other is approval of a professional development sabbatical for the 27-28 year.
Any discussion on those?
How do we backfill in the case of a sabbatical?
Long-term sub.
Then with this advance notice, that's going to be very helpful to identify somebody.
All those in favor of 9, 10, and 9, 11 signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed? Motion passes 9-0.
That's it.
Oh, wait. That's all? Yes, sorry. That is all indeed. Okay, technology, Jason.
None, no action items.
Okay, policy and legislative affairs, Bob.
Okay, let me ask a question first. Rebecca, did you get any input on any of these 3 policies?
No.
Jen, no?
She said no.
Okay, so I'd like to move items 11.01, 11.02, And 11.03, the first readings of policies 423, 523, and 719.
716.
Yeah, 7:16.
I'm sorry,
It's
I
okay.
don't have my glasses on.
Yeah.
Second.
Any discussion? All three of these were discussed last week, and if there were no changes. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion passes 9-0.
That completes policy legislative.
Thank you. Transportation, Jen?
Oh, I had it.
Oh,
Just,
Yeah.
we never added, the Fox Chapel started,
Right, the resolution that I sent around.
County council resolution about reassessment.
We do have a meeting on the 22nd if we wanted to put it in and do it properly.
okay, let's do it then. Yeah.
okay.
Is it support of the reassessment?
What?
Is it
Yeah.
support of the reassessment?
Support of the reassessment process. And the other one I would suggest, just as a new item, would be, I think that, of course, the county is talking about mandatory parental leave for child care of 18 months.
18 weeks.
Oh, 18 weeks, yeah, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, it's 18 weeks, I'm sorry. But it's 18 weeks for both parents, paid by the, well,
Paid by
the
somebody.
employer. Yeah. And I would think we'd like to maybe put a letter together. Because that's going to, I think, devastate the town, the county, because especially being north. Because whose business isn't going to move across Butler County if they can?
So
Just to get out of paying.
So the first thing that you talked about, assessment, that was Beatty has, right, you said Beatty has,
Oh, there's several
Fox Chapel,
districts
sorry.
that put forth, a motion, a board supporting the idea of countywide reassessment. There are hearings going on around the county, and many boards have said, we'd like to support the idea of countywide reassessment. So if this board wants to do that, we can put language together, have you all look at it, and then we would kind of vote on that on the 22nd.
okay, so
That's one item.
that's one item.
The second item is about,
Allegheny
Justin probably
County.
knows more about it than anyone.
Yeah, Allegheny County has been having hearings and is considering passing a proposal for 18 weeks paid maternity and paternity leave, which means every employer within the county would have to provide that type of leave. Just a brief background, FMLA, which is Family Medical Leave Act, only applies to employers with more than 50 employees and is not required for paid and only requires 12 weeks. So, I mean, that in theory could also apply to the district, which of course would increase costs to the district multiple ways. One is that currently under all of the contracts, none of the parental leave, well, we do provide leave for both male and female employees. We do not, it is not paid, and it is only 12 weeks. So there's the additional cost of providing the pay, but obviously, of course, the district would need to bring in a substitute for a longer period of time. So there's the pay on that front as well. So, and then whenever you add in paraeducators, custodians, any type of cafeteria worker, any of those would need to also have somebody to substitute in for them as well. Honestly, when I heard it, my first thought was I am an employer, so I thought of that, and then of course I thought immediately of the students whom it would actually substantiate. Talking about a budget, you have that pass in the middle of the budget year, and even just a few teachers going on maternity leave could really upend the budget. Because
Not only that.
as Jeff often points out, our people cost is our biggest cost.
But we also have an issue, right, currently with finding subs sometimes. So that just exacerbates it, because there's less teachers.
How do we support putting them together? Yeah, Rebecca, in particular, you talk about things like
18 weeks is pretty much an entire semester, but not quite an entire semester, and if somebody is on leave at the beginning of in July, and then there's only a few weeks, I mean, you have those issues now, but it's finding those people who are willing to work for the district for 7 weeks, and
I would want to,
difficult to find.
I'd want to see the specifics of the legislation, which I haven't read, and also maybe data on other places that have imposed such, what happens to employers? Does it actually help with hiring, or does it drive people out? I have no idea.
Well, it doesn't help with hiring, I mean, it doesn't matter, if you're employed in the city, you're covered. I mean, so it's mandated to every business.
to that point, Jen, I have also not read it, but I also wanted to see, is it going to be permissible for it to be the district to buy, it's still an increased cost, could we get a disability policy that would cover, many employers do that anyway, but that would only be maybe 60% of the teacher's salary, would the district then have to cover the 40%? There's a lot of different ways that can be structured, and I have also not seen the specifics on it.
And Larry, what I was saying was it's possible to me, I mean, as a parent of relatively young children, I would have absolutely gone to a place that offered better parental leave policies on purpose. So I don't know, might that counteract the drive of employers to leave? I don't know. Maybe not, but I'd like to see data before I know which way I stood.
Yeah, well, again, the problem becomes is like, I mean, if you're running, like, if even a startup, and you have one employee, and they have a kid,
Yeah.
What what's that going to do with that business, how do you pay for that? And I know the one, and you could do a research, but I'd suggest you maybe look at Sweden as a country. See, if it did it as a country,
And people can't jurisdiction shop, is what you mean.
yeah, I mean, with us being so close to the border, I mean, it's beneficial, and I've done it probably, shouldn't say it, maybe, but, I'll go up to Cranberry and buy like a TV in Cranberry and pay 6% sales tax before I go to McKnight Road here and pay 7% if the item's large enough.
Do you count the mileage and the impact on there?
But that's just, but I mean, what's going to happen though is it's going to drive companies out, at least new companies, out of coming into Allegheny County when they can go to Westmoreland, Butler, and any other county in the state. It's just going to be harder. Why come and get more cost? I mean, that's the hard part.
So is there a joint resolution kind of thing happening, or are you suggesting?
I don't know of any other superintendents or school boards that are doing anything on this particular item. I can research and find out and
You're saying it might be
give you
something that
information.
comes.
I would just think maybe, we might be proactive. I know in the news was Eric Schmidt, the head of our EMS service. He did go to hearing and said how harmful it would be trying to replace EMS people, if they took maternity leave in there. And there's already a shortage of EMS people, shortage of teachers. That's going to hurt every school district. So it's just a thought.
Okay. Maybe we need more information on that, sounds like, on the legislation. Yes. Yeah. Okay. I've lost track of where we even are. The transportation. Jen?
Alrighty. It is recommended, and I move that the board approves the 2026 summer transportation schools and carriers.
Second.
Any discussion on the summer 2026 transportation carriers? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes 9-0. Beatty report?
Well, we wrapped up a very successful year. We had graduation. Several Hampton students received awards. And
It spoke beautifully also, which was wonderful to hear.
unfortunately, I could not attend that graduation, but I heard it was awesome.
Yep.
Great.
Do you want to add anything, Larry?
It was a good night. overcast, but, so I didn't have to squint in the sun.
Sweat in your seats.
So, but anyhow, and then we have a meeting this Friday, and hopefully we have, we're coming to Wednesday, we're interviewing for a replacement for school resource officer. So I think that's it.
Okay. Jen, HAE?
Yes, just a reminder, mark your calendars, October 11th is the 5K race. So that is what's happening and upcoming with HAEE. I do know that there have been an additional grant that has been submitted, so they are in review of that and working with Dr. Cunningham. So that's pretty much what's going on right now.
All right, thank you. Sure. Okay, we are at the end of the meeting. We have any comments from the audience? We ask you to step to the podium and state your name and address for the board. And just a reminder that we have a 3-minute time and that it is comments, a chance to give your input. It's not really a question-answer session. So welcome.
Hi, Liz Seda. Larry, could you clarify the school resource officer replacement you just mentioned?
This is for A.W. Beatty.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. He retired.
Okay.
And he's actually is a Hampton resident too.
Thank you. I wasn't ready for that announcement.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kim Stern, 3160 East Hardee's. I did review the safety coordinator position, and I'm sorry I may have missed the other post, but I could not find the safety resource overall assessment posted anywhere online. I think you were going to make a revision.
Oh, yeah, it was posted on Tuesday on the website landing page.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
if you go there, it'll be right to the very first 3 items.
Okay, I'll go there.
On the website. We posted it
we-
Tuesday of last week.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, okay. I hadn't seen it either. But the elementary safety coordinator, did we solidify a salary?
The salary based on experience qualifications is listed there. There's
Okay. I was reading through the qualifications and experience here. For a safety coordinator to have all of the necessary experience, responsibilities, ALICE training, prior law enforcement, bachelor's degree, we have like really narrowed down. You're gonna have to find a retired officer with a bachelor's degree with current ALICE training. You're really kind of fishing in a lake without any fish in it. So either you're really gonna have to bump the salary to kind of pull in other candidates, or you're gonna have to kind of remove some of that experience. So I worry that this is kind of like a vision that's unattainable. And if it is attainable, it would probably exceed the original SRO, suggestion that we were looking for a couple of months ago. So just a thought that this experience is kind of, I think, beyond achievable with that. So that's my mention there. You'd mentioned the paternity and maternity leave. Deer Lakes did bring this up in their school board meeting, so they are talking about it. And it is essentially, I could be hired on 3 days with Hampton School Board, and I could announce that I'm pregnant. And then after those 18 weeks, I could then adopt a child, and adopt every 18 weeks they're out, and the Hampton district would be responsible. So under this new proposed legislation. So that would be something that we would really have to dig into. And I think what you said, Mr. Vasco said, we would lose a ton of business to Butler County and Westmoreland County. So along with EMS raising concern that it's actually a safety issue among the school and community is going to be really impactful. So we really need to dig on legislation with this, because paying for a salary with no ending with return could be devastating. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're not paid though.
Yeah.
Okay, looks like we're at the end of our meeting. Can I get a motion for adjournment?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor of adjournment? signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion passes 9-0.